adjust if we need to, or, yeah.
Recording in progress.
I just switching over. Yeah. Ready to go? All right. Welcome everyone to our pre-commission session. We will go ahead and start with general housekeeping items. If any commissioner has any questions or concerns that they would like to raise at this time before we get to the agenda.
Okay. Madam President, I have a question regarding the consent agenda, item number 8, if this would be the appropriate time to address that.
Okay, hearing no concerns from the other commissioners, we'll go right ahead to the agenda. And Commissioner McKinney, you have the floor.
This item number 8 involves an interagency agreement with the Capital City Development Corporation regarding a project on 11th Street from River Street to State Street, and it includes a separated bikeway. And after our discussions last week, actually for a couple of weeks, we had the 8th Street bikeway issue. I just wanted to ask the question, does this project involve eliminating traffic lanes in favor of a bike lane, or is it simply adding a bike lane to the existing roadway? That's my question.
Where do you go? Oh, right there. The project manager right here, sir.
Great, thank you.
Welcome, Cody.
President, yes, Commissioner McKinney, there's no change in the number of vehicle lanes.
So it's adding a separated bike lane to existing roadway and keeping the same number of lanes. Okay, great. That was my only question. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments or concerns about the agenda from any other commissioner? All right, hearing none. Long?
Okay. Thank you, Madam President, Commissioners. Good afternoon. A couple things. First off, yesterday, and unfortunately I don't see her, but yesterday was a very important date here at the Ada County Highway District. Yesterday, one of your fellow commissioners celebrated her birthday. And so, Commissioner Pickering, if you're out there somewhere, happy belated birthday. We actually have a birthday cake here as we will have a little bit extra time prior to your formal meeting. I'd invite you to come off the dais, have a piece of that in celebration of her birthday. So congratulations, Commissioner Pickering. We also have a new member of our team. I'd like to bring Sherwin up to introduce that new member of our team to you. Sherwin?
Welcome, Sherwin.
Madam President, Commissioners, it's my pleasure to introduce to you a new member in the accounting team. Her name is Maria Schulteis. Please stand up.
Welcome, Maria. Glad to have you on the.
So Maria comes to the district bringing in banking experience. She's going to be replacing Darla Young, who's retiring after 23 years of service. And Darla is also here, so she's leaving us in about 2 weeks.
Oh, Darla, thank you for being here and for all you've done for the district. We're going to miss you. It's good that you're going to have this overlap together so that you can bring her up to snuff. And yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
A couple other things, Commissioners, as a reminder, we have our annual health fair coming up. You've seen the advertisements. If you would like to participate, please contact HR and we'll make sure you have a time available specifically for you. Excuse me. Next week, we have the WTS Gala. Commissioners Goldthorpe and May are already signed up for this. If any commissioners would like to join us, it would be great to have you there. As you recall, the Ada County Highway District will be picking up 5 of the 6 awards. for the gala. If you can, if your schedule does permit, please let Stacy know, and she will coordinate all of the items for you. As a reminder, this Friday, 8 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken, Corey Barton is having their ribbon cutting ceremony for the development that they just opened up. You've all been invited. If you are going to attend, please let Stacy know, so we can ensure that we have the proper posting, if required, into that. And then finally, I'd like to just brief you on a couple one issue that won't affect you per se, but something that did occur on the last BAC meeting. Again, the three commissioners that attended, thank you. Greatly appreciate your support on that. But as you recall, there was an item added well underneath the 24-hour time frame, and that was, again, an item requested, and so it was added. And that was a discussion of the 8th Street bicycle project. I greatly appreciate and thank all of the three commissioners that elected not to participate in that. That was we were grateful for that. That really shouldn't have occurred in the time frame that it did. That being said, since it is still an open discussion with the commission, and speaking with General Counsel, when this does come back in front of you on the 24th or 25th, I think it's 25th of May, I would ask that the three commissioners that attend do disclose that on the record, and that we might have just a quick summary of what you heard, so that the other commissioners would have the same information that you have going forward. So again, our apologies for that and such, and that'll be in front of you again on the 25th, excuse me. And with that, I'll let you know that we are 2/3 through our annual vehicle inspection program. The vehicles are doing absolutely great on the all staff. I'll be presenting the winners of best vehicles, and they're all doing a great job, and we're going to end it tomorrow at Orchard with a review of all of our inspector vehicles going forward. So with that, commissioners, that is a brief administrative update, and I do invite you all to partake in some of Commissioner Pickering's birthday cake. And with that, I'll stand for any questions you might have.
All right, thank you very much, Director Wong. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Yeah. Commissioner McKinney?
Madam President, I have a question. Director Wong, I noticed the news item recently about the Spring Valley development in Eagle, something like 6,000 acres, a lot of homes and so on. Is that, obviously it would have a significant impact on our, or could have a significant impact on our roadway system. And I really am not sure what my question is. I'm just looking ahead at this and thinking, gee, that's something really big. Do we have that? Is that on our radar screen?
Yes.
To deal with? And what are the likely impacts that we can foresee?
Since that'll be coming in front of you, I'm not going to get into the discussions. I think that'd be best reserved for when all the commissioners are there and you have all the facts in front of you. But yes, we are well aware of that, and that will be coming to you.
Do we know which roads are likely to be the major connectors to that initial phase of the development?
I'd have to get back to you on that.
Okay.
I do not know.
And this is a project, just a brief history, that was approved and entitled back in, I think it was 07.
Right.
And then it's changed ownership.
Yes.
So,
Right, yeah. No,
yeah.
I've gone back and I've looked at some of the
Yeah.
history on that project, and so, all right.
And Commissioner May is correct. It is entitled.
Right.
Anything else? Okay.
That's it. Commissioner Goldthorpe? Okay. Thank you very much.
I invite you to join us in
Have
some
some-
birthday cake celebrating Commissioner Pickering's birthday.
Awesome.
Thank you.
very much.
And you have
Thanks, Roxanne.
Madam President, Commissioners, good afternoon. It's now 12 o'clock.
All right, thank you very much, Director Wong. Welcome everyone to our commission meeting. If you would please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it's one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you very much. Our first item of business is to adopt our agenda. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a commissioner or a citizen so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda. All consent agenda items are commission action items unless noted. Is there a motion?
So moved. Yes, second. I move that we approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Motion passes. All right, that takes us through to our regular agenda. Our first item and only item is the Idaho National Guard will present an award of appreciation for development services to thank ACHD for the support given to Jenzy Ware as she served on the Governor's Emergency COVID Task Force. Director Wong, I will turn this over to you.
Thank you. Commissioners, we are blessed today to have very special guests here in the commission room. Not only members of the Guard, but a tremendous support group that supports all of those airmen, Navy, Marines, Army, across the board, and does such great work here, and Coast Guard here in Idaho. As you said, recently, one of our team members was deployed on the Governor's Task Force for COVID. And as always, this team that you know is absolutely stellar, pulled together and supporting all operations going forward. So what I'd like to do today, Commissioners, I would ask you to come down from the dais, and I'd like to bring Steve up, and he will explain the award and share some insights as to why this is so important.
All right, thank you very much, Director Wong. Welcome, everyone.
Are you the person? No. Maintained by the department. district values employment of guard members and their lives in and out of uniform. Casey was given less than 12 hours notice that Sergeant Jenzy Ware would be away from work for several weeks to serve on a joint task force, Agile Response 3. Her response was only to assure Sergeant Ware that she will handle everything at work and to ask if there was anything else she could do to assist and support Sergeant Ware and her family. While Sergeant Ware was gone, Casey checked in periodically, making sure that Sergeant Ware was doing all right and to see if there was any other assistance she could offer. Casey's quick and unwavering support allowed Sergeant Ware to focus without worry on her role as the task force personnel non-commissioned officer in charge. And as a result, Casey indirectly contributed to the mission's success. And I want to also mention the fact that Bill Gall and Mike Alexander and Regina Cunningham and Greg Gorsuch and Thomas Candelaria and Marcus Brown all were in support of this effort. You have a pin. You get to hold this down because it's yours. So she's going to put a patriotic American pin on her that ESGR supplies. Lieutenant Colonel, Blake, would you like to say a few words?
Sure. So I got to be the Joint Task Force Commander, and Jenzy worked for me, and when in the award it talks about how she indirectly assisted. No, she was a huge direct force on that, a huge impact. We had a lot of, like 65-ish people come on board, and it was a short notice task force that came along, and she worked right in there and just got everybody in the door, through the processing, and out the door to where they could start impacting the community at primary health and at the Idaho Department of Correction. And then about a month and a half later, we got the short notice request to extend another month. And without hesitation, we got the word that yes, Jenzy can continue on for another month. And that was huge for us, because you know, when you have a job and it's going away and all of a sudden you got to be right back at it again, you need that short notice, full force effort, and that definitely happened. So thank you very much for letting us have her. She did a great job, and again, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's it.
Can we get a picture with you with the commissioner? Oh, sure.
Absolutely. Yes.
Right in the back. We'll be the background.
You in the forest.
You guys, would you rather have it over here so we get the ACHD logo?
Oh, good idea.
Just sidestep over.
I'll take the fun out of it.
Come in between us.
Thank you. Right here. 1, 2, 3. Great, thank you.
Thanks so much.
For all you do.
Thanks for your time this morning.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks to everybody. Great team. That was our only item. Just public communications. Ms. Spencer, do we have anybody that would like to address the commission?
I do not have anybody online.
Is there anybody in the audience that would like to address us? All right, seeing none, then we will go ahead. That was our last item on there, and we will go ahead and adjourn our meeting, and we will move into our post-commission work session. So we stand adjourned. Thank you. Miss Christie, we haven't seen you for a while. This is great. weeks, months. So we're gonna move into the Rose Hill Street temporary traffic calming, Roosevelt Street and Vista Avenue, public survey and stakeholder meeting results. And Miss Christy Inselman, we welcome you back. Look forward to hearing from you.
Waiting a minute to let
Clear, get
file
everybody out.
if they would like to. So good afternoon, commissioners. Christy Ensman, Senior Transportation Planner with our Planning and Programming Department, and I need a mouse to click through. I just realized I don't have all the tools I need. Thank you. Sorry about that. And I am here today to just give an update to the commission on where we're at with the Rose Hill temporary traffic calming concept study. Today I'm just going to review the public outreach efforts that we have done so far for this particular one. Maybe. Okay. Ah.
Try it.
Huh?
Go ahead and try it. Try the right arrow.
Is these ones better? Okay, there we go. Must learn how to use the clicker. So just to remind the commission what the extents of this project are. So it's Rose Hill from Roosevelt to Vista. It's a 1 mile segment of the Rose Hill corridor, which is a residential arterial. It's a 2-lane roadway. The majority of the roadway has a center turn lane. There is one segment that does not. So again, just a reminder of the existing conditions. So there's 2 travel lanes, a center turn lane for the Roosevelt to Latah, and then for the Owyhee to Vista segments, with a 5-foot attached sidewalk. There is on-street parking as well. It's a 47-foot wide section, so it's a very wide road. The Latah to Owyhee segment does not have a center turn lane, but there's 2 travel lanes, 5-foot attached, and it's 43 feet wide. This is also a heavily residential area, so there's a ton of front-on housing the entire length of this particular corridor. We estimate there was over 80 driveways that access this roadway in that 1 mile segment. So for the public outreach efforts themselves, we held quite a few meetings. We had stakeholder meetings from February 28th through March 3rd. There were 6 total that we held. These were held virtually. We sent out notifications of the stakeholder meetings to every resident and property owner on the entire corridor. We also sent notices to the adjacent schools and the neighborhood groups. On March 7th, we met with and presented, just introducing the project to our Bicycle Advisory Committee. The 8th, we went to our ADA Advisory Committee and presented on the project. And then on the 17th, we went to our PAG. So we've been going to our advisory committee. And then for on-site outreach, we did on March 14th and March 16th, myself and wonderful members of our communications team went on this corridor door to door. So we went in the evening and we went in the morning to try to catch as many people as possible. We wanted to talk to them about this concept study, and we wanted to encourage them to go online and do the survey that was occurring at the same time. So we walked the entire corridor, knocked on every door, talked to approximately 30 wonderful people who took the time to speak with us about it, and those we didn't get a hold of, we left some flyers to remind them to go online and take the survey. And then we set up a group walk with our advisory leadership and met on the 14th and walked the corridor as well to get additional feedback. And then finally, we had an online survey that went for 2 weeks from March 10th through the 24th. So the results of that feedback that we received, so total we got 270 comments on this particular corridor, which is great. We're super excited to see those numbers. We had, I didn't update this, I apologize. There were 10 attendees to our stakeholder meetings from the 28th through the 3rd. The corridor outreach, when we walked the corridor, there were 28 people that we talked to individually. And then the online survey itself, we saw a nice boost from that walk, and we got 234 respondents to that survey. Total on the story map itself, there were 419 views. So people would go back and take a look and see what other people had posted on the story map, which everybody could view, which was also really great to see. So what did we hear from them? So for their concerns along that corridor, 72% of the people felt that people were driving too fast. Our analysis does show that. So on average, people are driving approximately 5 miles an hour over the posted speed limit. The posted speed limit is 30 miles an hour, and on average, they're doing more than that. So it is not a comfortable for that. So 65% said that biking doesn't feel safe. That particular corridor today does not have bike facilities in place. So that's part of it. It is an LTS, it's right on the border between an LTS 3 and 4. And then 63% said crossing the street doesn't feel safe. Currently, the main crossings are at the intersections, at the signalized intersections. We did add a crossing at Peasley, and when we do the intersection at Rose Hill and Owyhee, that would add additional crossings, but we will look at that also for alternatives to see if there's other opportunities. So then we basically asked them to rank what their priorities were with this corridor. Their number one priority was to improve those crossings for people that walk and bike to be able to get across that roadway. It is a heavily traveled roadway. Average daily trips are about 10,000 vehicle trips on that mile segment. And with the speeds, that came in as their number one. Their number two was to slow the motor vehicle speeds down. And as you can see, they are speeding on that corridor. Number three was to provide bike lanes or pathways, some type of facility for people that do cycle on that corridor. And then coming in at number 4 and 5, we did see a few people come in and say that they would like to maintain the center turn lane just for access into those homes. And then number 5 was maintaining on-street parking. We did do a parking analysis of the corridor, and it's not heavily parked. But there was some comments that came in that there were people that did utilize that. So that was their number 5 priority. So in summary, the next steps in the process for this concept study. So April through May, we're in the process right now of developing those draft concepts that we will then take back out to the public. We're working with Kittleson and Associates, and they are the ones that are working on those draft concepts based on all of the feedback that we received. We will come back out to the public on June 16th for the public information meeting, and it's at that time that we will provide to them the alternatives that we came up with based on their feedback. And then that will kind of prompt our next step of the survey. They'll have an additional 2 weeks to provide feedback directly on those alternatives. What they like, what they don't like, what they would like us to change. And then for the commission, we'll come back to you guys in August. So we'll come back to you twice. We'll come back to you in August with a review of what we heard from the public on those alternatives, to present those alternatives to you guys and what the public said. And then finally, we would come to you in September at that night hearing for the adoption of this concept study. And that's my presentation. I will stand for any questions.
Thank you so much, Christy. This has really turned into quite the project, and really appreciate the accelerated outreach. And I know it was a little bit more extensive, but I think it's really going to yield some benefits in the end. And I'm sorry I didn't get to go with you on the walk around the door thing.
That is
I
quite
bet
all right.
that was, you got some good conversations going
Yes.
there. But yeah, real excited about this project. So thank you very much.
It's a unique project.
It is.
So
It is.
we're very excited to see what may come out of this that maybe could apply to other areas. So
Yeah, hope so. Hope so. All right. All right. Commissioner Hanson, did you have a comment?
I just want to
Yeah.
echo the same. In the Depot Bench, I was at their fair, and they were just so thrilled about the outreach. I think it built a lot of goodwill to know that their concerns about the speeds and the safety crossing are really are paid attention to, and they understand it's a unique street because it connects to Franklin going all the way west. So some improvements they're really looking forward to seeing what the concepts are. But thank you, Christy, that was fantastic, and you're welcome to come walk down Rose Hill anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know what I did tell them. I said, while technically, we're using all the input now, if you still have some thoughts and you thought, oh, I missed the deadline, I said, yes, you can still email Christy.
yes, absolutely. Yeah. And we did make it very clear to people, and when we do the PIM, we'll reiterate that, but everybody that I spoke to, the intent of this, because it is temporary, traffic calming elements, it's going to be, we'll put things out, we will go back out to the public after they're installed to get their feedback to how they feel about it, what do you like, what you don't like, and we can change it up. So this is one of those things where it's going to be, this isn't the only public, it'll be continued after we even decide on an alternative.
Sign me up. I'll go. We certainly have done a few walks before. That's one of my favorite things to do. So yeah, absolutely. Any other comments or questions for Christy?
Yes, Madam President, just, first a quick question. Talking about the parking, the on-street parking, is it on-street parking throughout the entire length of this segment, or are there some portions of it that don't have on-street parking?
Madam President, Commissioner McKinney, it's the entire segment,
Entire
both
length.
sides of the roadway. It's not striped for parking, but there is parking the entire length. When they did the parking analysis, and he went out different times of day, on the weekend, during the day, during, school times, and the parking analysis showed between 0 and 20% of it was being parked.
Okay.
We heard from a lot of people when I walked and knocked on the door, they said, we don't actually park this corridor.
Okay.
They said because they don't feel safe parking their vehicle there.
Oh, okay.
So,
Is
right now you can park on either side of the road.
Is that safety just from a traffic perspective? Is that the concern? It's not other safety concerns?
From the people that I spoke to, it was just they were concerned, they had cars hit is what they told me. And so they
Okay.
just do not park there.
Okay. Well, let me, I echo what's been said. I have certainly sharing the concerns of, residential streets and traffic calming issues on residential streets. So this is certainly something that's needed. The big challenge, of course, is going to be that, when you showed the 5 kind of priorities that people had, some of those priorities kind of conflict with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we want to have the parking, or we want to have bike lanes, or we want to have this and that and the other, and some of those kind of work against each other. So no matter what we end up doing, it's going to have to be kind of some trade-offs one way or another. So hopefully we can find kind of the best solution. But I look forward to hearing what comes out.
Yeah, and currently we're looking at between 4 and 5 alternatives that have a variety of treatments on them.
Okay. Oh,
So
and
there'll
sorry,
be a lot to choose from.
one more question.
Yes.
When we talked, you talked about how there's striping, or sorry, the parking isn't all striped along the entire length
None of it
of
is
the court.
striped,
Okay.
Commissioner.
But evidently the pavement width is great enough to have the 2 travel lanes along with parking on the side. So that 43-foot width that was given in the cross-section numbers, is that curb to curb, or does that also
It's
include
back
the
at curb to
sidewalks?
back at curb.
Okay, so that's curb.
Yeah, so the middle segment that does not have the center turn lane is 43. The other 2 on either side of it is 47.
Okay,
So the entire thing is quite wide.
okay, so we've got some room to work with.
Yep.
Yeah, all right.
That's
Good.
a
Thank you.
good thing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is Commissioner Goldthorpe still on? I don't.
He is.
All right, do you have any questions or comments?
Yeah, I'd just like to ditto what everybody has said, and then express my deep and abiding hope that when we're all through with this, that someone will actually bid the project.
Me too.
Absolutely. I think we share that as well. All right, no other comments? Christy, great job, as usual. This is going to be an interesting project. I can't wait to see the different alternatives that we come up with. A little of A, a little of B.
Yep,
And work to make it good for all users. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's it for today. Thank you very much, everybody. That's a wrap.